Bobby Lashley is the most shocking wrestler to leave WWE this year, considering the fact that he was one of their biggest stars over the last few years. He was the WWE champion just 2 years ago in 2022, and now he's not even with the promotion anymore. Bobby left because his contract expired and the two parties could not come to an agreement on a new deal, and when asked about the decision to not re-sign him, this is what Triple H said.
Look, just like any sport, any business, we sign talent, talent contract runs out, we release talent, it's just part of the process, so it's an ongoing thing.
What's more interesting is that Lashley recently said in an interview that he actually prefers Vince McMahon's booking and that he was never a Triple H guy. Let's take a listen to Bobby Lashley.
I had a connection with Vince. Vince understood me. Mm-hmm. Vince was big on like this show. He looked at people that were stars, and he saw that in me. And there was a lot of little nuggets that Vince would give me all the way throughout my career and tell me different things. Vince just looked at me. He was like, I can tell Bobby works his ass off. I can send him anywhere around the country to represent the company, the brand. And he just looked at me as a star, so I like Vince. I haven't really had too much connection with Hunter. I've tried to, but we haven't really worked enough together to even get to know each other.
That is a sad way for his WWE career to come to an end, especially when you think about the fact of how much potential his new faction had with the Street Profits. However, he's still got so much left in the tank. There's even a chance that he could reform the Hurt Business because MVP's contract was also not renewed. MVP's return to WWE back in 2020 was a massive success. He joined forces with Bobby Lashley, and they created one of the most successful groups in recent history. Sadly, the WWE Universe never had the chance to witness the group because they broke up before the crowds would return after the pandemic era. WWE never even gave them another chance despite all men wanting to run it back, and a lot of WWE fans around the internet begging to see it one more time. MVP then became Omos's manager before WWE gave up on that experiment. And now MVP's contract expired. He is unhappy with his WWE departure because he did call Triple H a coward and a liar in a social media post and a comment. It's safe to assume that he will not be back in the WWE anytime soon. Some good news about him is that there are rumors that the Hurt Business could make a comeback in AEW, and I hope that is the case because that would be great to see. Another wrestler who left WWE is Ricochet. It was reported that he informed WWE that he was leaving the company and had no plans to come back once his contract did expire. This is most likely because he was not happy with his WWE booking. Even though Triple H was a huge fan of his during the NXT days, the same cannot be said about his run on the main roster. You see, Vince McMahon never pushed him in the beginning, and even when Hunter took over as the head of creative, nothing really changed for Ricochet. He saw himself stuck in the bottom of the card, always losing matches, and after a Braun Breaker attack, he was gone and written off of TV. We haven't seen Ricochet since, but it is widely speculated that he will be showing up to All Elite Wrestling. It might be time to run back Ricochet versus Will Ospreay. That should be a ton of fun. Another shocking departure is Becky Lynch. Her contract technically expired and she is no longer working for WWE. After her feud with Rhea Ripley in the beginning of the year and her short run as a world champion, she decided to stay away from wrestling. The company expects her to return at some point, but nobody knows if that's going to be the case. Becky Lynch did tease that she might be leaving WWE altogether, maybe even joining AEW after she thanked her fans after her A&E documentary biography did come out. There's even a chance that was her way of saying she might be never coming back to professional wrestling. If you think about her career, she's done it all. Lynch had all the big matches, the big moments, and the big titles. She had a historic and legendary career. If she wanted to retire yesterday and just hang out with her daughter, I don't think anyone would be upset with that at all. If anything, people would be happy for her. At the end of the day, she's not in the WWE anymore, but WWE officials expect that to change by next year. The next contract to expire was Drew Gulak. He was a former WWE wrestler in the Cruiserweight division who eventually became a trainer. His contract expired and was interesting. It happened a little bit after Ronda Rousey came out to talk about a weird incident she had with Gulak. Ronda basically said that he pulled on her sweatpants string, the little string on the sweatpants, and that made her extremely uncomfortable. This is what she said.
I was standing there, and this guy that I was like barely an acquaintance with grabs the string of like my sweatpants as I'm walking by. And he grabs it and he starts going down the hall, and I'm just like, what the was that? Like, why are you grabbing the string of my sweatpants? Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak. That's who it was. Yes. It just put a really sour taste in my mouth about the culture there and what's considered acceptable and how to touch and treat the women in the hallways.
It was later reported that Drew Gulak was known to haze and bully other rookies that he was training, and after all this came out, he was not re-signed to a new contract. It is worth mentioning that Triple H said this was not the case at all at a pay-per-view press conference. Hunter said this was nothing more than WWE feeling like he wasn't the right fit for the promotion anymore. It's up to you to decide whether Ronda Rousey was the reason for him not being brought back, or if that was all just a pure coincidence. Gable Stevon is one of WWE's worst experiments ever. The company thought that they were going to recreate Kurt Angle because, as we know, Kurt Angle won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck, and Gable Stevon also did as well, minus the broken neck. Most of the time, an amateur wrestler thrives in the WWE atmosphere, but you can't say the same thing about Gable Stevon. It was reported that he struggled to improve in the ring, and it looked like his wrestling background was not translating well to professional wrestling. It's also worth mentioning that his controversial past from his college days is another reason a lot of people did not like him. Many fans around the internet did not even think he deserved a chance at all, and so his match with Baron Corbin kind of went terribly, and the WWE decided that it wasn't working out, and he was released. Dijak and his WWE departure is a sad story because when he first arrived in NXT, it seemed like he was going to be a huge star for the main roster. Those matches with Keith Lee were incredible, and I still remember them to this day. But the WWE ruined all his momentum when they turned him into T-Bar, and after that failed experiment, the WWE sent him back to NXT, where he thrived once again in his rebrand as Dijak. While it seemed like getting sent to NXT was a great thing, that's actually what led to WWE not renewing his contract. The problem was that he had a main roster contract and he was working for NXT, aka the developmental brand. In order to save money, the WWE decided to part ways with him, and it's sad because he loved WWE and just wanted to make an impact, and I think he could have. You could see that he had all the potential in the world, but it just seemed like the wrong timing, and unfortunately he's no longer with the WWE. Jinder Mahal also left WWE in 2024 after the company decided to not sign him back to a new contract. For a bit, it looked like he was going to get pushed in some capacity because he did work that great promo with The Rock that eventually led to having a World Heavyweight Championship match with Seth freaking Rollins. Despite all that, the company let him go. They did not have future plans for him, and his career in WWE came to an end. It's shocking to see that WWE did not re-sign Tamina and she left WWE. I only say it's shocking because she's related to the top guy in the company, aka Roman Reigns, and also one of the board members, aka The Rock. Even though she wasn't really being utilized, I did not expect to see WWE not give her a new contract just to make the family happy. With that said, I guess TKO is doing whatever they gotta in order to save money and use that money on a new younger talent in NXT. And the last person left WWE in 2024 is Cameron Grimes. This is shocking considering the fact that he had a couple good runs in NXT, both with Triple H and Shawn Michaels running things. It was even reported that he was told to not worry about being released or anything like that. However, that didn't matter, and he's no longer a part of the company. The worst part about his departure is that he never really got a chance to shine on the main roster, and that's a shame. He even posted this incredibly sad video to social media.
This is Trevor Lee, also known as Cameron Grimes. Unfortunately, I've been released from my contract. 5 years ago, the last thing that I was able to tell my father, Tracy Cadell, was that I signed with the WWE. I loved working here. I loved working at the WWE. I want to thank absolutely everybody that's helped me. The WWE is all I've ever wanted to do and be. But if I have to go somewhere else now to show them that they missed out, I guess that's what I got to do. Thank you, guys.